Bad news, there's now an image circulating around which looks to be the
Tell everybody.
and comfortable working in dim and theatrical lighting.
Half of the store is mystery boxes. I don't know what that has to do with Universal Legacy.
Okay guys, we're at Universal Studios Florida. It's time for a massive Halloween Horror Nights 2026 update. Murdy's been tweeting out some crazy stuff. There's new HHN auditions. Also, the Legacy store has opened at City Walk, so we're gonna go over all those Easter eggs. So on that note, it's time to talk about the Halloween Horror Nights shirt of the day. This is gonna be the House of 1,000 Corpses shirt. This is from HHN Hollywood. So on that note,
It's so scary, man. It rocks.
It's really scary. Really scary.
Every year, they just seem to keep talking themselves.
Hey, I'm Rob Zombie. Check out my main House of 1,000 Corpses in 3D zombie vision here at Halloween Horror Nights.
I'm not sleeping for like a week. My heart's still pounding.
I just didn't expect it to be this extravagant.
You actually stepped into the movie.
The effects are so much more real. It beats all the rest of them, that's for sure.
3D and all the colors, and it was so awesome.
So scary. You would walk into a room and things would just start popping out at you. Like the walls came out at you. You screamed like a girl at one point.
It's really scary, and I can't handle it. It scared the living out of me. To get in your space.
House of 1,000 Corpses. Best maze by far.
okay, welcome back. Let's head in.
We're here at the Studio Audience Center. I do find it funny that they have like Howie Mandel with all the lights around him, as if he's like being worshipped, as if he was a god. We did see kind of Howie's true colors during the Epic Universe live stream.
Mandel, host of America's Got Talent. Howie, how does it feel to be here tonight?
You're mixing me up with Terry Crews. Terry Crews is the host of America's Got Talent. I'm
One of the judges.
I'm one of the judges. I can't use the word epic. Well, who made you the boss? I mean, I think it's the perfect word. If you love thrill rides, what camera is this? Either one. What camera? This has been the best show I've ever been part of.
They got construction walls outside the Brown Derby. They're probably working on the concrete.
They're like blaring the Cupid Shuffle throughout the park. Something got tweeted out with Jack and Oddfellow. Okay, so the Halloween Horror Nights Twitter tweeted out this. So Halloween Horror Nights tweeted out HHN at 10:35 a.m. So again, they're kind of teasing us because the announcements are gonna happen at 10:35. They did have an announcement today at 10:35. Then they tweeted out, the screams are taking shape. This is freaking awesome. Okay, I love this so much. So as you know, last year they did that stained glass piece, and then every announcement period you would get a new little piece and they would fit in within the stained glass. One of the issues with that was, let's say you just liked one IP and you bought that stained glass piece, it was only meant for that full display. With this, you're able to buy whichever IP or character you're going to be a fan of, and it comes with its own little display. We can see Jack standing on a saw. It says Jack the Clown in front of him, and then we see Dr. Oddfellow, and then off to the side we have the Dr. Oddfellow banner. So you can display these kind of flat plastic characters on their own, or you can put them kind of on this carousel. On the next tweet, they said, limited release Halloween Horror Nights collectible acrylic figures debut May 1st, starting with Jack the Clown and Dr. Oddfellow. Collect them at Universal Studios Florida and online at Shop Universal as each haunted house is revealed. Now there's 5 other little pegs around this little carousel, so it looks like there'll be 7 characters in total. So they'll have their own little custom display base, or you can put it on the carousel together. This is awesome. I love this. I cannot wait to collect all these little acrylic figures.
Let's pop it in the horror makeup show. Okay, so we've gone over that. We've gone over this section. We've gone over this section. Now it is time to go over this section. Okay, let's read this little description right here. Lon Chaney Jr. lived from 1906 until 1973. Makeup legend Lon Chaney Sr. was the father of Lon Chaney Jr., who made his horror film debut in The Wolfman in 1941. His performance as the tortured Larry Talbot made him a horror icon. Alongside Lugosi and Karloff, Chaney Jr. was the only actor to ever play all the classic monsters on screen, with roles as Frankenstein's monster, Dracula, the Wolfman, and the Mummy. So we can see how his face looked before the makeup and then after the makeup. So let's read this description up here. Lon Chaney Jr.'s makeup took 6 hours to apply and 3 hours to get off. Chaney Jr. tested for the role of the Hunchback of Notre Dame, but lost out to Charles Laughton. This marked the only time he attempted to portray a role that had been previously played by his father. Chaney played Larry, the Wolfman, in 5 movies. The Wolfman, Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, House of Frankenstein, House of Dracula, and Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. Now we'll come down here and read this. Glenn Strange was playing the Frankenstein monster in Abbott and Costello Meets Frankenstein in 1948, but during shooting one day, he tripped over a camera cable and broke his ankle. Lon Chaney Jr., playing the Wolfman, wasn't working that day, so he put on Frankenstein makeup/outfit and filled in for Strange. So Chaney wound up playing 2 monsters in this film. The morphing bat animation sequence from Abbott and Costello Meets Frankenstein were done by Universal International animators Walter Lantz of Woody Woodpecker fame. Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein was the final Universal film to feature Frankenstein's monster, Dracula, and the Wolfman until Van Helsing in 2004.
Murdy has been tweeting up quite a storm.
There's John Murdy right there. John!
Okay, so John just tweeted out so much info. He says a mysterious package was just delivered to my house here in Ireland. International shipment. Does it have something to do with HHN 2027? Yes. Am I gonna tell you what it is? No. Finished putting together that line and started on the treatment today for a new house I'm working on for HHN 2027. Took me all day just to write the facade scene, mainly because it involves dialogue, particularly in another language, and it's not one I studied in school. So there's 2 languages in the facade scene? John says yes. Does the facade have an actor out speaking that dialogue partially in another language? Love it when you guys have people out, like with Leatherface in Texas or Muerto in Monsters. John says yes. So there will be a performer outside one of the facades. All right, haven't done this in a while, so let's open up the question box for a lightning round of Q&A. You know the drill. If you want me to answer your questions, make sure it's a question I can answer. Can't reveal anything that hasn't been announced. That being said, fire away. Not sure if you can answer this, but are there any clowns involved with this year's event? John says, besides the people who walk really slow through houses while they try to film them for their channel, ruining the experience for everyone behind them, man, that was mean. As you know, John loves the HHN content creator community so much. He knows how to make them feel warm and fuzzy inside. Now, they do kind of live in his head rent-free, and we have seen him, take action to content creators inside the houses. Will any of the house have influencers like Jason did? John says, influencers? Actually, I don't think I'm killing anything this year. Terrible oversight on my part. What's the most exciting part of the house planning process? Last night was fun, working out the special effects mechanically with some really talented, passionate people that started out as just something I write. Which location was your favorite to write this year? John says probably Mummy, which was also the hardest. Scrapped everything and started over, though the facade didn't change. In working on the Terror Tram this year, what were some things you wanted to do this time that have never been done before? I wish you guys could use Supercharge, if only for the fact I miss when the Terror Tram had an ending for the tram rides back to the park. John says, if I could use it, I would, but I can't. I really like the intro video I wrote for it. Pulled something from my childhood as inspiration, though a lot of people will hopefully get the reference. Since Orlando has Dark Universe and Las Vegas has Monsters houses, will we get anything related to Monsters anytime soon? I love your work every year and looking forward to this year's HHN. John says, yeah, I took a break on Monsters after the last one, partially to give space to Dark Universe and Unleash, but also because I've done 6 in a row and needed to ruminate on it a while. How did Universal interpret the success of Roaming Art the Clown last year? Can we see more of this in the future? John says, it definitely had a huge impact. Way better than I thought it would. I kind of approached it like Where's Waldo, hoping guests would encounter him at least once a night, but it seemed like everywhere I went, I saw him, and the performers were amazing. Which house location has your favorite house to research for this year? And what's one small thing you researched for that house? John says, research is like pulling a thread sometimes. I found this crazy thing when I was researching the Jurassic World location. Can't say what it was yet because it would give it away. I thought it was this isolated thing. Then I found it happened in many different places. How come there was no little pale girl actress / scare in the Terrifier house last year? here. She's even on the shirt they were selling. John says she was originally gonna be in the black van out front, but we needed more guest queue space, so had to scrap it. Probably a good idea based on how popular the house was. Now, when we were out in Universal Studios Hollywood, before you went into the Dungeons and Dragons experience, you get kind of a great view of the heavily rumored Killer Clown's tent being built. As we cut through Springfield, you know we gotta go see what's going on over at the Sprung tent. All right, we're over by the Sprung tents. Mecca is here. Mecca is working on stuff. Bad news is they're blocking the door now, so we cannot see inside. But Mecca is here on site, building stuff, working on stuff. Sprung tent number 1, the doors are closed. We can see another Mecca trailer that's also here. So they're definitely working on the Sprung tent houses back here. There's something kind of covered up. There's a prop covered up. What is that? They're covering up something. They're hiding something. The door is open, so they're working on stuff. But there's a lot of cars here. It was kind of empty a couple weeks ago. Now it's like all hands on deck to work on this stuff.
All right, let's pop into the Men in Black gift shop, see if there's anything new inside. Exclusively from Universal Fan Fest nights, all of the One Piece merch has now arrived at Universal Studios Orlando. So you really don't even have to go to Hollywood to buy the exclusive merch, but it is all here. I didn't see this hoodie though in Hollywood. $65 for this tie-dye hoodie, but yeah, it is all the exact same merchandise. This is kind of crazy to see that everything is here. And people are like chomping at the bit, and now it's all here. $30 for this water bottle. I didn't see this in Hollywood, but if you haven't seen the FanFest videos, we go over like all the merchandise and all the One Piece stuff. But even over here, they have the Loungefly bags, the mystery minis, the Spirit jersey, and then also all the Sailor Moon merch. So the special Sailor Moon Spirit jersey, the shirts, the mugs. This was not in Hollywood though. This is a 3D mug, $25 for the mug. But yeah, all the Sailor Moon and all the One Piece merch looks like it has appeared here in the Men in Black gift shop. $27 for this One Piece mug. This wasn't in Hollywood. And then they also have a lamp. You're looking at $50 for the One Piece lamp, but you need your little mystery plushies. They got them here. Okay, so Universal released a bunch of different auditions for Halloween Horror Nights. Let's go over that real quick. So this audition went out. They're looking for dancers strong in the styles of hip hop and jazz for shows and atmosphere performances. They're also looking for candidates who must be 4'10" to 6'3" in height and comfortable working in dim and theatrical lighting, fog effects, and in large crowds. Select candidates may be invited to participate in callbacks. The male presenting candidates should tell a scary campfire story. The female presenting candidates should tell a scary story as a psychotic. Part 2, silently unpack your trick-or-treat bag, letting us see, without speaking, how you feel about what you find inside. This looks to be auditions for the stage show, which will be on the Fear Factor stage. So yeah, that's pointing to kind of what's gonna be happening potentially at the Fear Factor stage. We'll do a deeper dive into the heavily rumored stuff for the show for HHN 35 in the next update. So when I film it tomorrow, so it'll come out the next day. They've added some new scrim to the building to help it kind of blend in when you're looking at it. But it probably will be a lengthy refurbishment, fixing whatever they're doing. But let's talk about Fast and Furious Supercharged. Starting to work on the HHN house inside. It's a very busy 10-minute wait today. A bunch of the cars have been removed. I don't know if it's because the attraction is closing next year or at the Peterson Museum in LA. They have a whole new Fast and Furious exhibit. So I wonder if those cars popped up over there. It's all walled up. See, they made a fake wall and they're working on the house inside there. So there's a door to kind of get in, but they made a fake wall. So they're working on stuff inside there. So it's all curtained off. All right, we're heading into the attraction now. And then at the end of the hallway, It's kind of blocked off here. You remember that's where he kind of entered.
He doesn't have friends, he has family.
Very true.
The faces you see on these walls are our family.
I'm not there.
When I'm in this room, I feel like we're all together again.
Who are these people?
Family.
Oh, okay. Tej left me here alone. I pushed the green button, the doors open, and these people came in here.
Exactly right. You're supposed to do that. Well done.
Oh, okay. Hi. I'm the electronics expert, or the assistant electronics expert. I'm still trying to figure out this microphone, though. There, can you hear me now? Okay, I'm Jamie, that's Tej.
The buses are here.
The buses, do you want all the new family to go into the buses?
I got this, Jamie. Dom, what up?
Tej, just got a heads up from Hobbs. The FBI's about to raid your location.
Oh no,
Man, they
again?
always ruining our fun.
Every Thursday.
They're leading Owen Shaw right to your door.
Owen Shaw? Who's that?
And Cockroach we beat down in Spain?
Oh, that
What's
guy.
he got to do with this?
Yeah.
Nothing yet.
Oh, good.
Let's keep it up.
Already forgot
Get
him.
those people on those buses.
People to the buses.
You need to start bugging out right
I'm
now.
bugging.
That turbo truck ready.
A turbo truck.
Sending Letty there to pick it
I
up.
better call Letty.
I'm on.
You better call
He
Letty.
needs our help. He needs our team. Spread the word.
Tell everybody,
Keep it in our
but
family.
only in this room.
Keep it quiet.
Don't even tell each other. It's the FBI. It's Hobbs.
Hobbs, my man. What up?
Sorry, Brother Tej, no time for chit-chat.
You
I
called
just sent you a
us.
brief on FBI agent Novak. Has Toretto filled you in?
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
He wants us to get everybody over to the party at Sullivan's.
Sounds like a plan.
It
That party
does?
is a ready-made diversion. Keep it going. We need to discuss how you're going to get all those civilians out of there without tipping off the FBI.
Civilians, they're family.
Hey, hold on.
Mia said
Let's get
so.
everybody squared away, and we'll talk offline.
Mia
Copy that, Tej,
familia.
and let everybody know. Shut off your cell phone.
Why?
We don't want Shaw tracking your
If you
location.
put it on silent, he won't find
Jimmy,
out.
you heard the man.
Yeah?
It's about to go to a whole nother level.
I haven't been
Send
easy yet.
everybody to the loading dock.
All right, to the loading dock. That's right, there's a big bad guy out there, and he is armed to the teeth.
Let's go, Cookie Puss.
All right, let's see what's going on with the Fast and Furious coaster. Oh my God, they've done so much. It's only been a week. We have track. We literally have track right there, which will probably go to the load station. Look at that. None of this was here last time we were here. That's what I'm saying. This coaster is gonna go up so quick. They're working on it non-stop. They're putting the siding on that building over there. Not too much action happening right now, but this is exciting. This is awesome. I cannot believe the track is up right there. The wall has been extended even further, and this is all just blocked off. Again, this is gonna look drastically different when HHN happens. Even the food stand here is like closed, it looks like. But the wall goes all the way up to here, and they have a Flash Gordon poster, but it goes all the way back here now. There's also another wall that has popped up all the way over there. Oh my gosh, how big is this wall? This thing is massive. Again, they're just redoing concrete and stuff, but walls everywhere throughout all of Universal Studios. We got some new Pride merch that popped up. Be whoever you want to be. So $18 for the fan. We also have a badge reel here. $15 for the badge reel. There's some socks. $20 for the socks. It says Love is Universal, and then it has kind of the globe on the bottom. And then $16, we have a Love is Universal crocheted heart keychain. $24 for the Be Cool, Be Kind, Be Proud cooling towel. Then there's also a tank top. So you look at $30 for the Love is Universal tank top. And then $35 for the fanny pack, Love is Universal. And then $85 is an official Spirit jersey, Love is Universal, little tie-dye on the bottom. And then on the front, you got the Universal logo, and then some rainbow tie-dye down there. And then $30 is another tie-dyed Love is Universal shirt. We just popped inside the Universal Studio stores. A couple more items that were not outside. $12 for a Love is Universal shot glass. $25 for a Love is Universal little sign. $20 for the Love is Universal mug. $25 for the earring set. And then $25 for the friendship bracelet set. $15 for the Love is Universal ornament. And then $15 for this magnet set. There's 3 different magnets that you can get. There's also this like jean jacket. Love is Universal on the back. You have a little bit of that kind of rainbow stain stitch right there. Then it'll be $80 for the denim jacket. Now, even on the buttons, if you look really close on the buttons, it'll also say love is universal. There's also another construction wall that just popped up right here as you exit Universal Studios. They have a little sign up here at the NBC Sports Grill. The Kentucky Derby on May 2nd will be happening from 12 till 8. There's going to be live entertainment, specialty drink offerings, reservations highly encouraged. They're going to be celebrating Cinco de Mayo at Antojitos. The Retro Nights, it's going to be Wednesday through Sunday, starting May 8th through July 18th. Specialty drink offerings, DJ free admission at the Red Coconut Club. So they're going to have a retro overlay. I don't know if that's retro universal or just kind of like a 90s theme.
All right, this is the Legacy store.
Here's the new logo. But what's the donut place at Springs? That's what it kind of reminds me of. I do like the artwork though. You got Creature right there, the Wolfman, the Invisible Man, some of the merchandise, the DeLorean, the clock tower. There's a poster over here. It's a pretty good poster. You got Bruce right there with the Orca, the DeLorean. There's E.T. On the side, you can see Bride's hair. The flux capacitors up there. Then on this side, you got Elliot with E.T., the barrel with the little tracker, everybody on the beach at Amity, E.T.'s ship, some of the merch, and then we're gonna have the Orca right there off to the side. All right, let's head in. This looks like the Epic Universe Preview Center. They really did not change much. At least there was more of an effort put into this photo op. With the DeLorean, you can kind of stand behind it. There's some lights behind it, but the flooring is all just the Epic Universe flooring. This is gonna be the little ET photo op. You got a ship taken off. So again, at least there's some texture to the 3D-ness. There's something. So again, this is pretty much the opening gate from Epic Universe, but instead of having the different lands there, they've just kind of replaced it with imagery from the artwork. You got the barrels, got the mummy right there, ET ship, some mushrooms from the Green Planet. On this side, you got Bruce, the bride, and the mummy. They are selling the print though. The print is really nice. The Jaws print's really nice. And they all are numbered out of 1,000. And he signed them. $15 for the smaller print, and then $35 for the tank top. On the back, it'll say Jaws. This plush has been around. Is there anything else that's new? A lot of stuff's just kind of reused. Okay, here we go with some puzzles. $15 for a little puzzle. And then here's the actual prints. So $65 for the prints. I will say probably pick this up because they all are signed and the print's actually really good, and they only made 1,000 of them. Then this is the Jaws photo op, so they kind of recreated the print as a photo op. They've just taken out the Epic model and put mystery boxes in there for some reason. I don't know why. Even the railings are still up. That kind of guarded you from entering into the model. Over here, they're gonna have a photo op. You got Frankenstein's monster, the Wolfman, Creature's finally getting some love, the Bride, the Mummy, Dracula, and the Invisible Man. Creature, what do you think about this store? I think this is quite a downgrade from the last Legacy store.
Now I did film like a half a Legacy store video. I never published it. So let's just show you how the old Legacy store looked. So the old Legacy store had this great kind of signage. We had like the gargoyles that used to be on the archway and also are kind of related to Legendary Truth. They had all these cool like cargo crates. From the horror makeup show, they had kind of the fly transition chamber. We had some Amity police jacket with badge. The costume and props used for the making of T2 3D, that's what Arnold actually wore. This stuff was used in the filming, and it was just in this gift shop. The gift shop was almost like a museum. It was awesome. And then over here, this is gonna be the City Street maquette used to help develop the scenic atmosphere for Confrontation. So you really get to see all the little details that they came up with before they even built the attraction. Here we can see a look at the ride vehicle. This is the original model from Confrontation. They had little Easter eggs for Ghostbusters. You got to see concept art of Camp Jurassic team member costumes. Some of the team members programming the animatronics for the Triceratops encounter. You have Hagrid's motorbike right when they did the premiere. That's the one in the photo that's in the case in there. Plenty of different Harry Potter, Wizarding World Easter eggs. You can see the model of Hogwarts. Again, they made this first and then they built the actual thing. There were so many different photos and callbacks to things that we had never seen. These were like in the archives. We had wax molds of King Kong. We had a wax mold of Jaws, some concept art of Amity, some of the photos of the band playing, Jimmy Neutron film reels from that old attraction, Jimmy Neutron team member costumes, mummy pieces from Shrek 4D, concept art for Back to the Future, how Doc Brown would talk to you on that attraction, behind the scenes photos of Bruce, the model for the E.T. attraction, and I'm just kind of scratching the surface of everything that was in the Legacy store. You could have spent hours in there. There was so much love and care put into every square inch. They really wanted to tell the history of Universal Studios. And that's what I thought this new store was gonna be, but a different version. That Legacy store was like the legacy to Universal Studios. This store just feels like the legacy to one art design. That's it. And all the merch is just kind of reused pretty much.
No one asked for this. Why are we making this a Pop Mart? Mystery Mania, no one, as you can see, no one is buying the mystery boxes. Now, a lot of you guys were saying a lot of these mystery boxes cost a lot more here than they do at the actual Pop Mart or like online. So there's really no reason to buy the generic mystery boxes. Now, like the Minions one, yes, okay, like that's special to Universal, I guess. But all the anime ones, all the other ones, they're just buying kind of wholesale and putting them here. And no one wants this. Give us exclusive Universal stuff. Disney does that. Disney has a whole section in Disney Springs. And that's why those are kind of selling. These are not going to sell because it's just the generic stuff recycled. They have this at every gift shop now. They have it at Universal Studios Hollywood in multiple gift shops. Here now in multiple gift shops.
So Pop Mart, the company that makes all those little mystery boxes, their shares plunged 22% recently. People these days really don't have that disposable income to spend on mystery boxes like they used to. Even the toy mogul lost almost $3 billion as shares of Labubu maker Pop Mart dropped on overseas slowdown. So people are not buying as many as they used to, and kind of the fad is still there, but it's not as popular as it once was.
Like, why would you come to buy Teletubbies? Like, it's the same boxes. Oh, they sold one mystery box. There's only one that's been sold so far that I've seen. All of them are pretty much fully stocked. Yeah, they've sold one. This is Overwatch. They do have the art on the wall, but again, the exact same Epic Universe styling. Half of the store is mystery boxes.
I don't know what that has to do with Universal Legacy at all. There's no props. There's no Easter eggs. Feels like some weird corporate synergy gift shop. Doesn't feel unique, doesn't feel special, doesn't feel like you should go out of your way to even go visit.
Here's another round of the Teletubbies. They brought over the mystery minis, which are now at 5 and dime and Epic, and here's these Universal mystery minis, but all people only want is Jack and Chance. They should just redo the Studio Screamers. Those would sell a lot better. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. The mystery box fad, they're really putting a lot into it, and I think it's the wrong move because they're just gonna be stuck with all this stuff because the prices cost more than a normal shop, and there's really nothing exclusive for Universal Studios. Over there they have the Birds collection, the Universal Globe behind the register.
That was very disappointing. I was expecting to spend like hours in there, like nerding out over stuff. Universal, what are we doing?
All right, they put a banner up with some of the shapes for the retro nights, and then even on the other side. So it's like red, like the Red Coconut Club, and then retro nights. And there's some more images up there. And they have a little display out here. So the 8th, it'll open up. So in about a week, this new bar will be open. The Whopper Bar signage still remains. What's it like on the inside? Hi, Whopper Bar. What remains of you inside? They're starting to rip off the menu right there. Still has all the signage though, Whopper Bar, and then even on the wall. So not too much movement has happened with the Five Guys restaurant coming in here. I feel like I've not seen the shrimp out here in a very, very long time. Have you guys seen the shrimp? I miss him. I miss him kind of waving at everybody when you're walking in or leaving. On that note, let's go back to the AC. We're gonna go back to the office and talk about some more Halloween Horror Nights stuff.
Okay guys, we're back in the office. Bad news, there's now an image circulating around which looks to be the concept art for the carnival piece. So if you do see that pop up on your timeline, don't look at it. Don't kind of ruin the surprise of what it could look like. Again, it could be fake or it could be real, but just in case, don't look at it. Because we still have a long journey till HHN. Sometimes when there's all these leaks that happen, they jeopardize contracts and IPs and stuff have to change. But on that note, if you enjoy this video, make sure to hit that like button. If you have not already, hit the subscribe button and join the family.
Queremos la familia.
Because I'm gonna keep you up to date on all things Halloween Horror Nights and Universal Studios around the country. I love you all. I'll see y'all very soon.
Whopper Bar.
Hey, no, no.
Disney has a whole section, and that's why those are kind of selling.